like many other cities, come on, talk back to me, where you have people who are dealing with traumatic experiences every day. I shared with you last night that the problem with the postmodern church is we are desensitized and unsensitive to the saints of God who are coming into the house of God who are traumatized. I lived, or rather I pastored on a corner, Old York and Cater Road in Baltimore, Maryland, that had experienced 16 murders in the span of 4 years prior to our arrival. Somebody shout trauma. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you've ever lost someone to violence, you're even more violated. Come on, talk back to me. Because now you're saying, God, there were some other people that you could have took. Yes, sir. I know you want to be sanctified tonight. But there were some people that perhaps were doing things that merited, come on, talk back to me, their demise. But how do you explain the loss of a child? How do you explain the loss of a little baby who's playing at the park and now they get hit with a stray bullet and they are now lost? And now families are impacted, and a mother and a father and grandmothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins are now grieving. Yet we have people coming in, and they talked about this, Bishop Hosley. They said, because of the weight of trauma, it has numerous effects. Anxiety. Anybody been anxious? Even though the Bible told you to be anxious for nothing. Then there's not just depression, but deep depression. Come on, talk back to me, somebody in here. Aggression, that you live life with a switch. Come on, talk back to me. That as soon as someone hits a certain nerve, there's another you that comes out as a result of your trauma. And so we have now, Bishop, people who are coming into the house of God, whether they be believers or those who are unbelievers that we're trying to reach, that the church does not have the capacity to minister to, because we now tell you to build a bridge and get over it. Wow. Watch this. I used to oversee victims services and victims funding for programs in the state of Maryland. I will tell you that a victim, or rather a person who has experience, because we want to be careful how we label ourselves. Tell somebody, say, I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. But a person who has suffered domestic violence will then later most likely have challenges in a future relationship, because they now get into their next relationship from the prism of their last. If you are a child who has been abused, come on, talk back to me. You are dealing with a psychotic, come on, event, a psychosis that tries to grip you because of your trauma. Somebody shout trauma. Trauma. And so as the church, we've got to get ready to deal with trauma. Survivors of sexual abuse are now inhibited in the intimacy area, that once they get married, the place where God legalizes intimacy, you are now crippled from ministering and giving your body to your spouse. I wish I had some grown folk in here. Watch this. Children who are going through abuse are oftentimes acting out in ways that we don't understand. Unless, First Lady Hosley, we think that this is simply a 21st century dilemma, can I submit to you that the Bible talks a whole lot about trauma? Can I submit to you that there are some very traumatic events that happen in the Bible? Because trauma is not anything new, but trauma has been around for a long time. Can I get one witness in here? Some Neighbor, say neighbor. I refuse to be traumatized. I refuse to stay in the muck of my pain. And I'm coming out. Yes, I'm coming out. And I'm not a victim, but I'm coming out with victory. Tamar was raped. She was traumatized. Jabez's mama was traumatized. And she named him in pain. But I gotta get out of here, because the real preacher's coming. But touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I know you look good tonight, but as good as you look, you still could be traumatized. So I don't want to push you. I don't want to push you. I don't want to agitate you. But I want to love you, because I might be the only hug you get all week long. If you're not too stuck up, can you just put your arms around the neighbor and say,